There's a particular kind of loneliness that shows up when you think everyone else has figured out how to be an adult. You open your phone and someone is announcing a new job. Someone is moving in with their partner. Someone is buying a home. Someone is getting married. Someone is starting a business. Someone seems certain. And then there is you. Still unsure. Still changing your mind. Still trying to understand what you want. Still feeling like a younger version of yourself is quietly standing inside an adult life you do not fully know how to live yet. It can feel as if time is running forward without asking you to come along, as if everyone received a map, a deadline, and a set of instructions, and somehow you missed the email. Maybe you look at people your age and think, why do they seem so much further ahead? Why do they look more settled, more capable, more certain? Why does their life look like it has a direction, while yours feels like a room full of unopened doors? Sometimes the hardest part is not even being uncertain. It is believing uncertainty means there is something wrong with you, that you are behind, that you waited too long, that you failed some invisible test everyone else passed. But maybe the test was never real. Maybe it only feels real because we see the same milestones repeated so often. Graduate, get a job, find a partner, move out, make more money, know what you are doing, be happy about it. When enough people seem to reach the same places, those places begin to look like requirements, not choices, not possibilities, requirements. And when your life does not follow that order, it can feel like you are breaking a rule. But whose rule is it? Who decided that a meaningful life has to move in one direction? Who decided that being unsure at 25, 30, or 40 means you have failed to grow? A life can look delayed from the outside when it is actually becoming more honest. Maybe you're taking longer because you are recovering from something no one can see. Maybe you are learning how to trust yourself after years of living for approval. Maybe you are carrying responsibilities that do not show up in a graduation photo, a promotion announcement, or a smiling picture in a new apartment. Maybe you are changing course because the path you started on was never really yours. And maybe that change is not proof that you are lost. Maybe it is proof that some part of you is finally awake. We compare ourselves to visible outcomes, a title, a relationship, a key, a number in a bank account, a photo that says, "I made it." But we rarely see the full conditions around those outcomes. We do not see the help someone received, the timing that worked in their favor, the private sacrifices, the fear they still carry, the parts of their life that do not fit inside the picture. And we do not see the cost of forcing ourselves into a life that looks right from the outside, but feels wrong when we are alone. That is why comparison can be so cruel. It asks you to judge your entire life against a small, polished piece of someone else's. It turns their visible chapter into evidence against you. But another person being ready for something does not mean you were supposed to be ready too. Their timing is not a verdict on yours. You are not late because someone else arrived somewhere first. You are not a failure because your story has more pauses, more turns, more unfinished sentences. Sometimes we treat adulthood like a finish line, as if one day you are supposed to become a completed person. Confident, certain, organized, unafraid, and permanently clear about what comes next. But no one actually becomes that person. People just get better at hiding the moments when they do not know. They learn how to answer. How are things going without explaining the whole mess? They learn how to look steady while still figuring things out. And maybe you are not worse at life. Maybe you are simply more aware of how complicated it really is. There is nothing childish about still having questions. There is nothing embarrassing about needing time. There is nothing broken about not knowing what to do next. The world moves quickly. People love answers. They love clean stories. But your life is not required to become simple just because other people feel more comfortable when it is easy to explain. Maybe you are in a season that cannot be measured by milestones. A season of rest, a season of rebuilding, a season of grief, a season of learning what you actually like when no one is grading you for it. Those seasons may not look impressive. They may not give you anything obvious to announce, but they can still be real movement. A tree does not look busy when it is growing roots. A road does not become meaningless just because it curves. And a person does not become less valuable when their life takes time to make sense. So when you feel yourself falling into comparison, try asking a different question. Not, why am I not where they are? Ask, what do you think I am missing? Is it security? Belonging? Pride? Permission to feel grown up? The feeling that your life is moving? Because those needs are real. But the milestone you envy may not actually be the thing you need. You may not want their job. You may want proof that you matter. You may not want their relationship. You may want to feel chosen. You may not want their house. You may want somewhere safe to exhale. And once you understand the need beneath the comparison, you can begin to meet it in a way that belongs to you. Not by copying someone else's life, by listening more closely to your own. Maybe your next step is small. Replying to one message, applying for one opportunity, resting before you call yourself lazy, learning one skill, leaving one path that no longer fits, admitting one truth you have been avoiding. It does not have to look dramatic to count. A life is not only shaped by major milestones. It is shaped by the quiet decisions that slowly make you feel more like yourself. You do not need a perfect map before you begin. You do not need to know the ending before you take the next honest step. And you do not need to punish yourself for moving differently. You are allowed to be uncertain. You are allowed to take longer. You are allowed to become someone in private before the world can see it. The people around you may be moving, but you are not standing still just because your movement does not look like theirs. You are living through your own days, learning through your own mistakes, making choices with the information, energy, history, and hope that belong to you. That is not being behind. That is being human. And maybe, slowly, that can be enough.